Mark, a lot of comedians say that this is their favourite comedy club. Why do you think that might be?
It's the only one they play, probably. I mean, what tends to happen is Peter invites you down here. He influences you in such a sort of way, almost hypnotic way, that you're never able to leave essentially a bunker, and you don't get a chance to play anywhere else. So when you're asked, where's your favourite place to play, the answer really is, this is the only place I can play at because I'm shackled to the venue. So I mean, I've been lucky enough to be able to have I left once in 1986, but that was just to get some crisps, and I've been here ever since.
So 30 years it's been going. Why do you think that is? What's the secret of the longevity of this place?
I think it's got a great vibe about it. It's got a nice intimacy about it. The classic low ceiling, and the audience are up close. And I think the type of people that come here are real comedy fans. You don't tend, well, in my experience, and I've been playing it a long time, you don't get the riff-raff. Occasionally people from Finsbury Park show up, but in the main it's nice, warm, friendly, happy people. The hens and stags don't make an appearance here, which is great.
I've heard a lot of people say low ceiling. Why do you need a low ceiling to be funny, do you think?
It traps the sound, it traps the noise. Big vacuous spaces, you lose all the laughter and applause and that kind of thing, and there's a nice sort of resonance to a low ceiling environment. The laughter is trapped into a smaller space. My best memories are just delightful, joyous gigs, which have been an absolute pleasure, with a real nice sort of this rolling laughter and just feeling like you've got the entire room, and coming on a Thursday night and trying out new material and seeing that work and being able to do work and develop that. My worst experience, and I hadn't even thought of it until you asked the question, was when I started doing stand-up in America. And then I came here, and one of my very first gigs here, I basically copied something that an act I'd seen in America, which was a guy full of personality and charm and confidence going to people in the audience singing, "If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked." And it was fantastic. The audience loved him. He had real charm, as I say, charisma, personality. And as he went to each person in the audience, they thought it was hilarious. So I thought, well, I'll do that downstairs at the King's Head. But not having, the same confidence or relationship with the audience, I remember coming here and doing exactly the same song, and I think it was probably on the 9th or 10th, "If I knew you were coming out of baked a cake," to complete and utter silence. I thought probably time to stop this particular borrowed routine. But I do, yes, I was psychologically and emotionally damaged by that incident for some time. Couldn't come back here for a long time after that.
In all the gigs that you've played down here, obviously you've seen a lot of acts down here over the years. So who have been your favourite performers that you've seen that you think work particularly well in this space?
I've seen Eddie Izzard here, and he is fantastic in a small, intimate setting. So I think probably when he was at his peak, improvising and messing about, which is a style of comedy I particularly enjoy, he kind of would, I guess, spring to mind. That's when I was first started out all them years ago.
Tell us about the particularly glamorous backstage area at downstairs at the King's Head.
Well, there's a chaise longue. There's a small jacuzzi. Budget requires it not to be heated, so it's actually just a cold bath with bubbles, which Peter provides via sort of just blowing through a straw. And occasionally, depending on his mood and how well the evening is going, he will supply grapes, which he will feed you in the jacuzzi, which is quite nice. It's quite nice. A lot of clubs don't offer that service, and that's one of the hallmarks of Peter's generosity.
Do you think this place has changed over the years?
No, I don't think so. And that's the nice thing. You'll come here, and I think the vibe and the atmosphere here on a Saturday night is the same as it was. All those years ago. I don't feel there's a different atmosphere. There's no different change in atmosphere or change in clientele. I mean, I've got older. Obviously, I can barely move.
Do you think the room itself actually affects the material that you do and has contributed to the way your act has gone in a way?
They are, well, they are a little politically correct here, and maybe I'm making a broad generalisation, but I think they don't tend to go for, not that I would do, but more kind of risque or non-PC material. You know, mother-in-law jokes. That was Peter, who's just warmed up the jacuzzi for me. He wants to tell him a knob gag, but I don't know any. Got a Jewish knob gag, but it's a little bit shorter than the other ones.
How have Crouch Enders changed over the years?
Well, of course it's Crouchon. That's part of the requirement, because Crouch End, actually, nobody who lives in Crouch End would call it Crouch End because it sounds more like a disease than the name of a place. So people would say Crouchon. And it's changing as much as not every single building is now a restaurant. There was a time when it was all, even the banks would serve croissant in Crouchon. But now it's, I think there's now one tobacconist, so that's pretty good. Newsagent, as they say in the olden days. It hasn't changed that much. I think it's still the same old quirky place.
Where would you put Downstairs at the King's Head in terms of the history, if you like, of comedy over the last 30 years?
Probably Downstairs at the King's Head. That's exactly where I'd position it. It's great for me because I've been doing stand-up quite a long time. 48 years. Now I've been doing stand-up for 25 years, and this is one of the first clubs I play, so it's got lovely nostalgic memories for me. And I think it is the club, as I'm sure the forthcoming festival will prove, is the club where comedians like playing and are more than happy to come back to.